All right, music fans and truth seekers and people who are into pop culture, politics, and the other stuff that I often talk about here, including faith. This video will embody all of that and more, doing what I do in real time for a couple of people just like you and just like me. Yeah, there's the pointing again. I know, it's really annoying. Um, Aaron Lewis. Who is Aaron Lewis? He is the front man for the band Stained. He's also a solo artist and a fairly successful reinvention of his musical path as he really got into the traditional rootsy country genre a number of years ago and has been doing quite well, selling out concerts and speaking out about things that people in the rock community don't do. They don't speak about Charlie Kirk. Um, there were a lot of fake memes floating around about people like Bob Seger. Bob Seger pays tribute to Charlie Kirk. No, he didn't. Um, quite frankly, nobody from the old school rock community paid tribute to Charlie Kirk. Um, Rockers didn't react. I didn't see any of those memes floating around or those articles. Rockers react to the death of political activist Charlie Kirk. And the rock media in general, they don't know how to cover people who don't share their worldview. They immediately have to label and tag this as something. They feel uncomfortable covering it. They do it, but then they do all of this fact checking and context adding stuff. And this article, which comes from a website that, you know, they cover a lot of death metal and a lot of stuff that just is quite irritating to me. It just is. I mean, I have no interest in music if it doesn't really sound like music. And you can disagree with me. Maybe some of it has some merit. Maybe some of the darkness it's promoting is getting exposed, and that's a good thing, but I don't know. So he had this song a number of years ago called Am I the Only One? And he dedicated it to Charlie Kirk. Now they're going back to October 16th, and this article is coming out on November 9th. So they're just reeling backwards here, and they're finding stuff because maybe it's a slow day in their particular newsroom or whatever you want to call it. He was at a place called the Factory in Chesterfield, Missouri. Prior to launching into the track, Aaron told the audience, they took someone very special away from us. He was a father, he was a husband, he was a patriot. He truly believed in the word of God. They thought they silenced a voice, but they awakened a bleeping army. I dedicate this song tonight in memory of Mr. Charlie Kirk. Now, the other rock guy that I know of who has really stood up for Charlie Kirk is Jonathan Cain from Journey, who wrote a whole song about Charlie Kirk. Finally starting to get a few views. When I first listened to the song, it had like 284 views on it. I'm like, dude, I'm getting more views than you are, and I'm just babbling about whatever. So they have to add context to this because, you know, they can't just let Aaron say this. A right-wing American activist and influencer. Okay, full stop. What's right-wing? Could someone explain right-wing? So right-wing today means that you believe in God. That's number one, apparently. Number two, you believe in traditional biology. You believe that men are born as men and women are born as women and all that fun stuff. And I know that just drives some people crazy, you know. Well, I can change my mind, right? Halfway through this, I could just it's like buying a couch or something. I don't like this couch. Can I have you guys come and get it? Send me another one in the style that I like. You know, I mean, this is some weird stuff. If you told people this 20 or 30 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, they would have been like, what? What are you talking about? But now it's the norm. So right wing, what is right wing? So the way they have to kind of add context to everything is they bring Trump in because he hailed Kirk as a great American hero and a martyr. And they put that in quotations because It's Trump saying it, so it can't be true. And so we have to add the quotation marks because we don't believe that's true, but we have to cover it. Or we don't have to cover it, but this, I guess, is red meat for the people that read this particular website. Charlie was often criticized for his fiery, combative style. I've watched Charlie Kirk on a number of occasions, and he was never combative. In fact, he was very generous when people disagreed with him. He was very soft spoken compared to people who are quote unquote fiery and combative. He was a strong supporter of gun rights. Okay, so I guess that makes you right wing. I mean, there aren't any left wing people that are carrying guns these days. I think there are whole militias now who are carrying guns who are way left of center, if you're going to use those types of labels. He vehemently opposed abortion. See, this is like the holy grail for them. We've lost 60 plus million human beings. And that's right wing to say, I don't know if that's a good idea. Or maybe we put some restrictions on it. Maybe we make it a little harder to do. Maybe we offer up some medical care and some ultrasounds and some diapers and whatever else for a couple of years. And there are organizations that do that, by the way. So other than you just not wanting to deal with it, there's not much that would stand in the way of, say, going through with it, like having the baby, all right? He was critical of transgender rights and famously said empathy was a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage. Oh, it sounds like they don't have a lot of empathy for Charlie. They don't have a lot of empathy for Charlie. Maybe it is a New Age term. I don't know. They pick that out of, I mean, you could talk to a psychologist and see what they have to say about empathy. Empathy is a made-up term. And it's always about rights. It was critical. No, I think he was actually critical of the entire construct. It wasn't the rights. I mean, you have rights as a human being here in the United States. It doesn't matter what, I guess, you do to yourself. If you're an adult and you want to pursue this, go for it, man. I ain't stopping you. I don't care. It's your business, right? And then they have to add context to who the killer is. See, this was supposed to be Aaron Lewis. Remember way back at the beginning, Aaron Lewis pays tribute, does this song. And by the way, this song hit such a nerve. I remember driving by a house that had their fence, like, I don't know, it had these words, "Am I the only one?" on it. The title of this song had a question mark. And people are wondering, am I the only one that believes in normal? Like I say, the normal party? This isn't right-wing people. This is normal. And websites like this that are like fourth or fifth tier down on the pop culture totem pole, who are putting out this pap each and every day, and they don't ever label anyone progressive musician, blah, blah, blah. Do they ever do that? No, progressive activist so-and-so, and they're all over the place. You could put Bruce Springsteen in there, progressive activist Bruce Springsteen. Have you ever heard a rock website do that? Progressive, I mean, he had this biopic, whatever you want to call it, biopic. Some people tell me I'm saying it wrong. This biography thing, this movie. Do they ever say left-wing commentator, left-wing musician Bruce Springsteen? No, because to them, Bruce Springsteen, he's normal. He's right there where the Overton window is for them. So anyway, they go on to say Kirk's killer is, or suspected killer, is Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old who grew up in a Utah suburb and briefly attended Utah State University. So this is supposed to be an article about Aaron Lewis dedicating a song to Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated. I mean, do they not think Charlie was assassinated? I don't know. Robinson is registered as unaffiliated. See, a friend of mine, who's a rock star guy, said to me, you know that it was a MAGA dude that did this, right? Like, yeah, it was a MAGA dude. Um, there are other theories as to who did this, and it goes down a rabbit hole. And it may not be who you think who did this. Robinson may have been a patsy. He just may be somebody. Then they made up this story that sounded legitimate, that he was into the trans stuff. I mean, this maybe he was, but this may go a lot higher up on the food chain. This may have been another country that did this. That's what I've been hearing a lot lately. Um, Watch some Candace Owens or listen to her. She's been on a roll lately, saying some incredible things, and her podcast is now the number one podcast in the world. And she's articulate and she's got the receipts, as they say in the business. Robinson is registered as unaffiliated with a political party. And see, Charlie kind of changed his mind about some things prior to his assassination. These guys see, and by the way, by keeping this narrative going about Robinson, look over here. Don't look over there. Look over at Robinson. Anyway, so they're still trying to defend. He's not active as a voter. He did not vote in either of the last two general elections. Ooh. So if you vote for somebody, does that make you automatically not the right person? I mean, just say he did do this, right? So they're literally trying to, again, this is about Aaron Lewis. Let me keep reminding. Aaron Lewis dedicates a song to Charlie Kirk. No evidence has emerged connecting Robinson with any outside group. This is a rock music website. Would they ever add any context to Bruce Springsteen or whoever else? They're all left-wingers. They're all like, yeah, man, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she was the best, man. Rockers react to the, I'll never forget that day. Rockers react to the death of a Supreme Court justice. Died of natural causes, right? Old age. Wow, it's a sad day. Man, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she was so important to rock and roll because she allowed us to have as much unprotected sex as we possibly could. She's the best, man. We love her. Lewis, who is widely considered to be one of the most politically conservative musicians in rock, made headlines. Now they're going back to September of 2021 when he urged his fans to chant, "I will clean it up." Well, they actually, you can't because they're like, I'll just say FJB. How's that? FJB. Or "Let's Go Brandon" would be even funnier, right? They hated that. What are they saying? They're saying, "Let's go Brandon." That was the most amazing, I don't know, meme in the history of pop culture, where the person who was doing the reporting, this happened, I believe, during a NASCAR thing where the crowd was all saying FJB, and the guy interviewing said, "Yeah, what are they chanting? They're chanting 'Let's go Brandon.'" And Brandon was like the race car driver. They weren't saying "Let's go Brandon." Oh man. So if you didn't know the roots to that, I mean, and to this day, it's brilliant. He goes on to say Lewis was a staunch critic of they keep going. President Barack Obama. Should have been impeached. Yeah, and everyone's saying Trump should be impeached. I mean, you know what this is? This is just tribalism on steroids. So we're going to go back and forth, and we're going to talk about super ultra right wing Aaron Lewis, who's not. I bet you his personal life isn't ultra right wing. Maybe it is. I don't even know what ultra right wing is. Like I said, the Overton window has been broken, not just moved, but shattered into a million pieces. And so when anyone does an article, this left-right paradigm thing, I told you, it is normal versus crazy and insane over here. That's what it is. But everybody's going to tell you it's a left-right thing. It's about abortion. It's about this. It's about that. No, it's not. It's about crazy versus normal. Charlie Kirk was trying to tell kids that they could be normal, that normal was okay. Well, belief in God, you think that's normal? That's weird to believe in God. Okay, sure. I think it's how you believe in God, and some people are like Ned Flanders, and that makes the whole thing kind of hard for some people to accept. And I get that. I'm preaching against that all the time. I'm saying, look, you don't have to be perfect to believe in God. God accepts you. God accepted all those wacky, crazy people in the Bible, and God used a lot of those people. I mean, David was a man after God's own heart, right? You know, committed adultery, killed a man, was not exactly a paragon of virtue, but he was a man after God's own heart. What's that all about? Paul, who wrote a big chunk of the New Testament, he killed Christians prior to being converted on the Damascus Road, right? So, look, folks, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to have faith and trust, trusting that Jesus paid it all, because he did pay it all. So anyway, I don't know why that's abnormal or weird or strange. Christianity isn't weird or strange. Having like belief in nothing, that to me seems a little different. I don't want to say weird, because atheism is plausible, because it's hard to wrap your mind around the idea that there's this God out there who cares about the world. You see circumstances and things, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can buy this. And I totally understand that. But what else do we have? What else do we have? Well, it's a man made construct, Dave, and you're just clinging. It's a crutch for you. Well, build me the biggest crutch possible, because I need it, right? Every single day I need it. And I think most human beings do too. And without the hope of Jesus Christ, we don't have a whole lot. And that's what Charlie Kirk stood for. And by the way, who really killed Charlie? Who really ordered this? I wonder who it is. I bet you guys have some thoughts about that. Anyway, thanks for watching the channel. I'll give you a little music thing here at the end, because I still am hungover, not literally, but musically speaking, from watching Ray Fuller and the Blues Rockers blow the doors off this little blues bar in Buckingham, Massachusetts. There should have been more people there, because he was fantastic. And you should check out his music. This is a live album from a few years back, and he's at Buddy Guy's Legends Club, which is a cool place to go hear some blues music, and he was there. And this album, if you can find it, just rips the doors off the place. So anyway, some music for you. Aaron Lewis is pretty cool too, so check his stuff out. If you haven't heard his traditional country-sounding stuff, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. If you're a fan of old school country, he's right there. He made a smart move by not sounding like a bro. All right, he's just a normal dude out there banging on a guitar, and he's got a great voice. I think that's what makes Aaron Lewis so good. So anyway, thanks for watching. God bless everyone. Remember, Jesus loves you even if you don't love yourself. And like I said before, you don't have to be perfect to be a Christian. All right? That's not the point. You don't have to clean yourself up first. You just have to have trust in the finished work of Christ. Full stop.